Hi there. Welcome to my game room. Today I'm going to do something a little unusual for me, which is an unboxing video. There may not be a whole lot on the Line of Departure channel over the long run, as there are other people who do a lot more of them, get a lot more practice, and do a lot better job than I do. For example, Smitty's Game Room is outstanding for this. But today I'm going to venture into that territory with Littoral Commander, Indo-Pacific. This is designed by Sebastian Bay, who's a game designer and one-time active duty Marine. And it's published by the Dietz Foundation, which emphasizes the educational aspects of wargaming. To date, they're probably better known for republishing the Avalon Hill game, Kremlin. I purchased that at Origins last year. Littoral Commander Indo-Pacific and its sequel on the Baltic were my purchases at Origins 2025, among other things. So, let's move on. What is inside this big box? Well, in terms of size, it's not huge, but it's dense. You will never call this an airbox, and I will show you why. So, let's open the box here. One of the first things we notice are small wooden blocks. Most war games that use wooden blocks, such as the GMT coin series and the Command and Color series, use great big ones. Same for Columbia games. Everything they do has big wooden blocks in it. These are tiny little cubes. Various colors, and you use these on displays, for example, to show unit strength. And most of them are cubes, but you do have some circular ones, identical to some in the coin series. We also have 10 20-sided dice. This is most unusual for a board war game. We see 20-sided dice in the role-playing world, but not in board war gaming so much. They're either 6-sided or 10-sided. 10-sided are good because then you can go to decimals real easily, very easily, and that's the approach that I prefer for my own designs. When in doubt, go with the 10-sided die, and if you have to, go with 6. But that's my designer's preference. Then we have the rule book here. Nice and thick, glossy paper. And I'm happy to say it's in full, glorious color. We have a much shorter scenario book, which is basically black and white and text only. And then we get to these incredible maps. There are 4. We'll start with the one that is the most obvious for this region, which is the Taiwan Strait. We have Taiwan here, the People's Republic of China, and the Taiwan Strait in between. If there is ever going to be a war between the United States and its allies, which would include Vietnam, by the way, and the People's Republic of China, it would undoubtedly include a Chinese invasion of Taiwan. So it's only logical that this be included, and wargamers are probably fully recognizant that this is an area that has been covered in other games, maybe most notably in GMT's Next War series, Next War Taiwan. So this is an obvious choice, but it's not the only one. And notice too that all the maps cover different areas. Here we go way far south to the Malacca Strait in Singapore. Here we have Malaysia up here, and Indonesia and Sumatra over here. This is a big choke point for oil from the Middle East. It's also a choke point for much other shipping. Singapore has been an important base area since the days of the British. They famously fortified it and built the big naval base at Changi there before World War II, only to lose it in a few months to the Japanese. So this is critical real estate, critical waters, and only natural that this be included. The next two are maybe a little less obvious, but offer gaming opportunities. Here we have the map termed Ryukyu East, with the Philippine Sea, the East China Sea, and right in the middle here we have Okinawa. Again, a World War II battleground, just as the Malacca Strait area was. The last battle of World War II was fought in Okinawa. And this isn't such an obvious choice for a theater of war in World War III with China, but I'm glad they put it in. It offers variety, and yeah, it's not beyond the realm of possibility. The next one is the Luzon Strait up here, with the South China Sea and the Philippine Sea on the other side. We have northern Luzon here, Lingayen Gulf, familiar to World War II gamers, including from the Japanese invasion right after Pearl Harbor. They landed at Lingayen Gulf and in northern Luzon. So this is another area with a history of being contested in World War II. In fact, I would venture that the Taiwan Strait area, that is the only one that did not have significant land combat, though there were massive air raids there. It did figure in World War II, and it could have been a target for an American invasion, but for political reasons and sentimentality to some extent, Douglas MacArthur pushed to reinvade the Philippines and liberate them instead of going further north and cutting them off by invading Taiwan, then known as Formosa. So Luzon is maybe less obvious a theater of war than Taiwan. I think everything else is. But again, we have the opportunity in this game to fight over it. Smaller components now. We have an event card deck. We have other cards here for forces and missions. I see two American ones. Definitely high quality, and there were a lot of them. We have two for the People's Republic of China. We have cards for units to be attached to task forces. 2 Chinese and 3 American card sets, where you would use your blocks on here to denote status. There are separate cards here for submarine operations that they're considered a little different and thus have different components. There are a total of 3 player aid cards. Pretty obvious here. With sequence of play, actions, unit keys. Definitely utilitarian stuff, but done with really good readable graphics and in full glorious color. And we have 2 counter sheets here. This one for the OPFOR guys, mainly Chinese, with the units on the front. Unit strengths, unit status, unit type, and generic symbols on the back. And here go the American ones, basically Air Force, Navy, and for Ground Forces Marines, which makes sense because this is Littoral Commander. It's not, say, extended land operations in Northern Europe, but operations along coastlines. So the Marines, this is part of their core mission. So let me get this thrown back into the box. Some of it, most of it. Here we go. Not an air box, as I said. It's quite extensive and packed to the hilt here. You may have a little bit of a struggle getting everything back in once the counters are punched and the cards have been separated and put into their own bags. I tend to put them in bags, not like the old days where we used to put them in, wrap them in gum bands. That's a Pittsburgh word, gum band as opposed to rubber band, but Pittsburghese is my first language rather than English. Now, I had the chance to pick this up too from the good people at the Dietz Foundation at Origins in Columbus. These are supplemental replacement units. They term it an upgrade, but they're wooden blocks that take the place of the counters. They come in one bag, all mixed up together, and they have pretty much the same information on the counters, laid out the same way, with the difference being they're wooden blocks. These are square, and again, they're smaller than the ones you would expect from a Columbia block game, Command and Colors, or the one of its cousins. But you have the option here of using wood. I did not see wooden supplemental blocks for the Baltic Littoral Commander, just for the Indo-Pacific one. So that's my exploration of the box. I will undoubtedly, I hope, undoubtedly, and hope kind of go together. One's a qualifier, but I do plan on covering Littoral Commander, all the maybe both games. I hope in the pages of the print edition of Line of Departure, and because that is the centerpiece of the Line of Departure multiverse. But I'll be covering this. That's my plan. And there may be extra unboxing videos down the road, but I will probably concentrate more on the historical background, political science stuff, other things that I teach. But this one is going to be, this video is pure wargaming. I'd like to thank you for your time. If you like what you saw, please share it with your friends. Subscribe to my channel. And stay tuned for more content. I don't do stuff like, I wish I did stuff like OnlyFans, but people will be paying me to keep my clothes on. That's not my thing, so I stick with the academic and the wargaming side. In the meantime, have fun with gaming. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. And I hope to see you down the road with additional videos. So until then, thank you for watching.